Yo, what's up, everybody? Coming to you live from the Grizzly Disposal Studio. I don't know if it's Hunter S. Thompson or Ted Kaczynski sitting next to me, but fun show coming your way. What's up, man? Ryan Tutel, guest hosting with us here for the first hour on Nuanez Now. Nice,
when
nice
I come
glasses.
in here, I represent two things: the Green Bay Packers and me. And this is how I rolled out today, baby. So this is what you get, you know.
When I went to get your house last night, you were wearing your wife was wearing that Green Bay Packers sweatshirt,
Yeah.
and she looked much better than. But I mean, you look great. I'm surprised. I saw your car here. I'm surprised. I thought maybe you'd just walk.
I drove. I do not live far away. I should have walked, but a sleeping baby fell asleep on my lap, and then my children, who also then turn into my babysitters when I leave,
Yes.
arrived just like when they got home from school.
Yes.
I had to get,
Yep.
and then I have stuff to do after this.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's that kind of thing. So I had to do the wagon.
Well,
today.
tons of stuff to get to today. Ryan and I hung out last night because we were watching the games for the NCAA tournament, so we'll go through some of those. Certainly a depressing day if you're me. I had Houston and Arkansas, and neither of them played close to well, and they both got destroyed. I guess the final margin against Illinois for Houston was 10, but I mean, Houston was not in it. I mean, they were at a point a minute for the first 35 minutes. So we'll get to that in a minute. We're also going to play some blindside. We don't know what we're going to ask each other, so we will find out, and it will be fun. Carol Chicago's No Sports will highlight our second hour, as will our latest on Grizz Lacrosse. It is rivalry lacrosse weekend. So Jeff Safford will get us set up, and then we'll roll into the Grizz Lacrosse broadcast, at least when it comes to the ESPN MT app. We are coming to you through the Grizzly Disposal studio here at the Missoula Broadcasting Company. Grizzly Disposal, locally owned, veteran-owned, and the only Bears that should be in your garbage. If you'd like to stream it, 1029ESPN.com or ESPN MT app. We're also on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch. And if you want to be a part of the show, 406-888-1029. We start, though, with the news of the day. This is one of those ones where everybody that you see, no matter who you are, where you're at, anybody, doesn't matter if they don't know a dang thing about sports.
Yeah.
Carolyn knows that this happened.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods earlier today reported to be in a rollover car accident. At first, his status was unknown, quote unquote. Then we come to find out that he is doing fine health-wise, but then he was arrested after the crash, charged with a DUI, no alcohol involved, which I think leads to insinuate other things must be drugs. He's been to rehab for opiate addiction before. I mean, not good, man. When I first heard this, I thought, man, this is just the way he's going to go out, huh? Like, I mean, he's just had multiple terrible incidents with cars in the last 10 years, and I'm glad he's okay, but also, I mean, it's pretty clear, guy, I think he needs some help. So this is the next latest chapter to a sad saga for a guy that one time that was, I mean, walking on the moon, man. I mean, he was the most famous person in the world, and it's pretty crazy what's happened to him over the last 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have this just constant physical failure when it comes to the multiple back surgeries.
Yes.
Obviously, the car wreck, which is tremendously debilitating. Obviously, the leg, but I'm sure other things as well. Then you go through so many surgeries, and then you end up on meds, and then, things can get out of hand real quick, and that's a very sad reality for many, many people.
Yes, totally.
And certainly Tiger Woods is not exempt from that. And then he just tore his Achilles. I mean, these are the
He tore his Achilles like a year ago.
I think less than that.
Yeah, he was just coming back. Like, he had just started playing golf again these last couple of weeks, basically.
And these are the sorts of things where you go, we don't know. It's all speculation. But you go, wait a minute. You, Tiger Woods, were just like practicing your wedge play on the range and tore your Achilles?
Yes.
Like,
Which then harkens so many other questions.
What? How? And it's his private life. Nobody.
Right.
He owes no explanation per se to anybody. Yeah. But when you hear that somebody tore their Achilles tendon, it's like, well, what happened? Like, how could this happen?
Yeah.
And then now you're recovering from this and yet another surgery, and then
Totally.
and then to watch him at TGL, it was so strange because
this was what, 2 weeks ago?
Oh no, it was
last week.
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. Okay.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and he plays quote unquote competitively for the first time since the Achilles, And he hits some unbelievable shots, but also misses like a 2-foot putt.
Yeah, can't
and
putt.
Their entire team just gets boat race, and it's embarrassing. I watched some of this. The TGL broadcast was scheduled. You can see on your TVs how long
TGL's
something's
top
supposed
golf
to go.
league for those that haven't followed along. So I've never watched this yet.
Oh, everybody's into it.
But no, I mean, is it good? Is it worth watching?
I'll get to that in a little bit. But it's scheduled for 2 hours. The competition was over an hour and 15 minutes, and they had 45 minutes to fill. And they interview, Tiger after the fact. He's angry,
Sure.
and they get to to the whole group, but he looks physically imposing,
for sure,
just absolutely shredded out of his mind. But you're also going like, okay, Tiger's always been in great shape, but this is kind of at another level.
Yes.
And then you go out and have this pretty embarrassing, frankly, performance for professional golfers, and then 2 days later or 3 days later, you're rolling your SUV over under the influence of who knows what, and it is a sad, and yet none of this stuff feels isolated, right? It feels like a complete chain of events that is just Tiger Woods' whole life.
Yeah, it's brutal. I mean, we could go on and on about this because, why are you tearing your ligaments? What makes your ligaments weak? I mean, performance-enhancing drugs. I mean, there's so many other things that could be behind all this, the physical gains. But then there's also just the urban legends of just how much, and how hard Tiger has trained over all these years. He's done all these Navy SEALs things. At some point, it's like, well, it's like I always remind people. We were talking about this with Eli Gilman and carry limits for the Grizz running back. I said he's an impressive athlete. He's not an immortal person. You know what I mean? He's just a man. It's the same thing with Tiger. He's one of the world's greatest athletes. But at some point, the spaceship breaks down. You have to. I just don't know if he can do it at a high level in any form or fashion anymore.
Oh. No chance.
He can't, right?
No.
If he had a different personality, too, he could just transition and go to the senior tour. But he doesn't have that personality. I don't think he's going to be able to do that.
No.
Exactly.
He doesn't have a personality. He is, and I don't mean this really disparagingly, but he's a psychopath.
That's correct.
And that's what has made him the greatest, most impactful golfer / really athlete on the planet.
Totally.
And what do you say all the time? Your greatest strength, your greatest weakness. And the thing that has made him, going from Earl and his mother to his golf career into a full sort of solipsism of selfish existence, quite frankly. And again, that's what has made him who he is, and yet is also directly responsible for this. For the downfall, which then he came back from, and now is down again. And so, and it's one of those truly human stories, man, that everybody is enraptured by.
It's crazy, right? Tutel Coulter Nuanez here on Nuanez Now 102.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks to our great friends at Red's Bar. Often we display memorabilia from Red's. I'm actually going down there next week to get a whole new run of it. So excited to see those guys, and also love going and checking out the archives. They got some unbelievable sports artifacts from the last 100 years, really, from throughout Western Montana. It's a great place to hang out and watch sports. Red's Bar downtown on Ryman, a Missoula institution. All right, so
Vaughn and Mike, shout out. Colin, the boys. Love those guys.
They're great. So how much do you want to dive into last night's games first, or do you want to jump into the blind side? What do you want to talk about?
I think we should just briefly cover the big national news, which is the tournament, which is, here's my takeaways. Wow, holy smokes, Arizona. And really, holy smokes, Illinois as well, although I think it feels to me like sometimes Houston is capable of this.
Sure.
Which is, and ever since Calvin Sampson has come back as the head coach, they have been so good and physical, and they go with an aggression that's Izzo-esque, right? They're like a Michigan State, but I would say with even better athletes in general, like bigger bodies, stronger dudes. And yet, they have times where they just don't have it together on a particular night. And I think maybe it's a great aggression to play basketball with, but not always the pure basketball talent that maybe some other teams have. And then if your style doesn't work, you're in trouble. And I think they found that last night against Illinois, who is a very good team in their own right. And we are in a tournament replete with really good basketball teams, man. There's a lot of good ball.
Okay, so what do you make of the fact that right now three of the four teams, that are into the next round already, the Elite Eight, are from the Big Ten, and two more Big Ten teams play this evening. So there is a chance that 5 out of the 8 Elite Eight teams could be from the same conference, and that's the Big Ten. This is what they wanted when they did the realignment, right?
Yeah, and it's interesting because the SEC has always been the football conference, right?
Right.
But in the last 3-4 years, the Big Ten has outstripped the SEC by a noticeable margin. I'm not going to say it's a chasm or anything like that, but the Big Ten has been absolutely, without question, the better football conference. Interestingly, the basketball conference has always been the ACC, and then also I would add the Big East, right? Those have kind of been the baddest of the bunch, with the Big Ten having schools in there, but maybe not conference-wide, but certainly the top of the Big Ten is nationally elite-level basketball. But sure. You told me last time I was in here, when's the last time a Big Ten team won the whole thing? 26 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan State in 2000 was the last one, so that's pretty
So that was surprising. But then what happened? The SEC put a bunch of resources into hoops.
Yes.
And
because they have so many resources.
And the last really 2-3 years ago, they were head and shoulder. I think there was 13 SEC teams in the tournament. It was insane.
At 14. All but one of them made it last year.
Absolutely crazy. But this year, the Big Ten is that conference. The Big Ten is the best football and men's basketball conference in the country.
Well, and the fact that Iowa's doing this, and it's funny, I've said this on the show a couple times this week, but the sliding doors theory of who could go where and when they do that and how that impacts everybody is crazy, right? Like, Kelvin Sampson got fired at Illinois years and years ago for a recruiting scandal that had nothing to do with him. So, that wouldn't be illegal now, right? We were talking about this with Will Wade yesterday, too. But, Ben McCollum, once upon a time, was a finalist to be the head basketball coach at Montana State, and they hired Danny Sprinkle instead. And that's a great hire. It's an excellent hire. But Ben McCollum then waited it out still at Southeast Missouri State, and then got the job at Drake. 32 wins later, he gets the job at Iowa.
Yeah.
And then, managed to finish middle of the pack in the Big Ten year one. But here you are, and you get another big win last night, knock off your fellow Big Ten Nebraska Cornhuskers, and boom, you're into the Elite Eight in year one. I mean, Ben McCollum is, if you just look at the numbers, like the record, since he became the head coach at Southeast Missouri State in 2009, he has the best postseason record in college basketball. It's not even close. I mean, he's winning 92% of his games in the postseason, any level. D2 with Drake,
It's a bunch of rings.
I mean,
bunch of rings.
I mean, think about this right now. After the win with Drake last year, and now 4 wins to get to the Elite Eight, he is 5-1 in his first 6 NCAA tournament games. He's a hell of a coach. I don't know what else to make of the fact that the Big Ten's dominating it, but I mean, this is what you get, right? Who would ever thought, though, that it would be all these teams and none of them would be Indiana, but Indiana would be the reigning national champion in football.
Yeah, totally. This is the world we live in.
We got Iowa and Nebraska basketball in the Elite Eight, and Indiana is the champion of football. It's pretty crazy.
All of this really, though, leaps into what is I wanted to do 2 blindsides with you.
Yeah.
One of a sort of a current events national level, and then a more Montana centric one. So let me do the one that's about the tournament, and it's simply this, and we don't have to spend a ton of time on it, but do you think the tournament is better, worse, or unchanged now in this year? Maybe go back even 1 or 2 years with the new era of NIL and everything that we know.
Yep.
Do you? Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Is it better, worse, or unchanged to you, and why?
Well, I think that to me is different than what I think it is for the basic consuming public. For me, the answer is resoundingly yes, because the basketball.
It's better.
It's better because the basketball is way better. I have watched the NCAA tournament a lot over the last, I would say, handful of years, like the pandemic until 2 years ago, and the basketball was objectively bad. You could tell that teams had hardly any experience playing with each other. There was not a ton of flow. I thought there was a lot of isolation basketball that's happening. in the last 2 years, because of the ability to actually like manufacture roster continuity, you actually do have teams that know how to play together. Like Florida basically ran it back this year. I mean, they had 3 guys that could have been top 20 picks last year, and they all came back to school because they're all making $4 or $5 million to be at Florida. Why not try to win back-to-back national championships? So you see this. Florida's a bad example as a team that lost in the second round, but I just think the basketball is at a higher level. That said, I was thinking about this a lot on Sunday because our power went out, so we sort of had an impromptu party at our neighbor's house because I was like, we got to go somewhere to watch these games. Right. I was like, tell Dan we're coming over. I'll bring the dinner. Like, he's got power, I don't. We got to go. So we did. And but anyways, my wife and several of her girlfriends were sitting around watching the games, and they were all talking about how, like, they love the underdog story and, like, the team. They had no idea about High Point or VCU or whatever coming in the tournament, and then they win. They're like, I like that team. That's who I'm rooting for. Let's go. There's not many of those anymore. So I think for the casual fan, like Cinderella being dead, quote unquote, is a detriment. But to me, it's better. What do you think?
I think the tournament on the whole is better. I do think that the Cinderella, first of all, I don't think it's dead.
Yeah, no. We only have a small sample size.
That's right. But also, I do think that is the calling card, the signature of this tournament is the Cinderella.
Yes.
And if you are losing that, that is not good for the tournament. I'm not just talking about that for the thrills of, like, the little town, us in Montana, right, rooting for a Big Sky team to get a dub. I'm just talking about, in general, this is unique to this tournament in a way that is different from any other sort of sporting event that's out there. So I don't think you can lose that.
And the middle conferences is what's missing, right, when we're talking about this. It's the conferences that are between the 7th and 17th best conferences in the country. Because those conferences, first of all, got pillaged for membership. Like, remember when Conference USA was like a legitimate 3-bid league? Yeah. Now who even pays attention to that, right? Because like you don't have the moving parts like Louisville or Memphis or any of these schools. Yeah. They're all in the big leagues, right? The Missouri Valley used to be stacked with Wichita State, and it's a shell of itself. There's been so many conferences that have gotten the Atlantic 10, another one. You know, because that half of it went to the Big East when the Big East decided to have their basketball only conference. So there's just so many different versions of this. But at the end of the day, Arkansas, Alabama, and Illinois, Houston, and Duke and St. John's, like some of these matchups we get then are who doesn't love that, right? Of course you missed the Cinderella, but like why wouldn't you want to see? I mean, it's literally like the top 15 teams in the country are just going at it.
The other thing, too, and it may be a little bit singular to this particular season, but I don't recall having seen this much high-end talent in a single tournament, and it's spread out.
That's because of this, right? This is what we're talking about. I thought that the NIL was going to make the funnel go like this. Mm-hmm. It's made the funnel go like this for the ones that have a seat at the table.
Yeah, and I think just because they're paying players to play doesn't make players better, right?
No.
You're like Carlos Boozer was going to be
Cam Boozer.
Cam is going to be kind of a generational type of player, regardless of when, and he just happens to come through right now. But man, I feel like I've seen more guys that I'm looking at and going, that's a lottery pick, more than there are lottery picks to be given.
It's an excellent point.
And it's really fun to watch, and they're on different teams. I think that's part of it, where it used to be maybe 4 of these dudes are all on North Carolina. Now one is on North Carolina, and one's on Arkansas, and one's on Alabama.
There is an inordinate amount of really good players, though, right now. Yeah. It's definitely true. Because as I've said on the show, I watch basketball through a professional lens, because I think the professional version of the game is the best version. I actually think that's why women's basketball is so appealing to people, because the women actually play a more professional, like a more pro style, right? More spread out, spacing, all this stuff. But that's finally come back in the game at the collegiate level. I think that people have finally learned how to play offense around the way that the defensive rules are structured. There's just so much better, more spacing. Like the bigs can shoot now.
Yeah.
That was the thing that was the biggest difference, right? We were talking about this last night. You used to watch a game and you'd say, Well, Drew Timmy's great. He averages 25 points a game for Gonzaga. He cannot guard a player that plays in the NBA.
Right.
He'll just get into a pick and roll, and it doesn't matter if he's on Sengun or Durant. He's cooked.
Yeah.
Like you're dead. Luka Garza, like guys like that, you couldn't translate it to the pro level. Well, now there's way more rim running type of guys that are such freak athletes they'll be able to hang, but a lot more shooting. It's just a better style of basketball. It's crazy how this has shifted, though, right?
Yeah, it's the skilled bigs sort of originated in the NBA, and now it's working its way down. Sometimes stuff works up,
yes.
and in this case, it's working down.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say down, not just the players, but especially the coaches, where a lot of high school coaches, you're like 6'9", yeah, you're a center, dude. Get on down there.
Right.
There's nothing to talk about. And now coaches are like, hey, you got to handle. You got to be able to dribble. You got to be able to shoot. Doesn't matter how big you are. And they're letting these guys, in fact, forcing these guys to improve those skill sets. And then when they get to the big dance, you're watching skilled big men in a college tournament like unlike anything we've ever seen.
Nuanez Now March, Tutel joining us in studio with me, Colter Nuanez. This is the Grizzly Disposal studio here at the Missoula Broadcasting Company, Grizzly Disposal. Locally owned, veteran-owned, and the only Bears that should be in your garbage. So is there anything you point that to? Like, I was thinking about this. This is the best freshman class that college basketball has seen in I don't know how long. But I couldn't pick out the last one that's like this, but I don't think it's a coincidence. This is the first group of kids that started and ended high school after the pandemic. I think that really influences the way that all this goes down. Because we had a 5-year span where these guys were growing up where that impacted their development. It impacted some part of their either education or basketball. I don't think it's a coincidence, man.
I think that's a very fair point, man. And I think that's right. And I hopefully now that there's no loss to the funnel that's coming up.
There's also just the part where sometimes this stuff is just coincidental, but it all comes to fruition, right? Like, how was Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley and Hakeem Olajuwon like all in the same draft class? Like, how did it line up that like 2 or 3 of the best players in the history of basketball were all the same age? That's pretty crazy. And then to have them all play with each other for so long. But then is this like the next great group, right? I mean, I'm so stoked about this because like there's been some guys the last couple years. Like, who's the kid from Houston now? Amin Thompson.
Yeah.
Like, when you watched him in college, like, oh, that guy's an NBA athlete, but it's going to take him a while. He's going to be pretty raw when he gets to the league. Like, Paolo Banchero, another guy that was kind of like that. Like, you watch Cam Boozer, you're like, that dude's 20 and 10 tomorrow in the NBA. I mean, like, he will be a top 50 player in the NBA immediately.
And maybe this is on me, but I'll even go, like, Con Knipple, who I said, man, he's a really good player. It's going to take him some time in the NBA. How wrong could I have been? He's one of the best players in the league this second.
I know. And it's crazy, man.
Unbelievable, you know?
Well, his IQ and his shooting are both just like, I mean he's blown me away. I thought the same thing. I thought he would be a guy that could totally be on the floor and hang in NBA games, but he is like a superstar in the making, man.
Totally.
Like, he's knocking on the door of like all-star status.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. Okay, I got one for you.
Let's hear it.
The Grizz football team has been making waves because of the head coach and his efforts in a variety of different ways that are in sharp contrast to the efforts of his predecessors in certain venues, right? But the number one thing I think that has Grizz fans excited is that there's not one, not two, but 3 kids from Missoula that have all given their verbal commitments to Montana, and it's only March. These are guys that will sign either next December or next February. Sam Sermon from Sentinel, but then probably 2 of the quote-unquote blue-chip recruits in Montana, a pair of kids from Missoula Big Sky who led them to the semifinals last year in the Class AA playoffs. Eli Kasberg, who his graphic said athlete, but he's the quarterback at Big Sky, and Quincy King, who's a first-team All-State defensive lineman, as well as a podium placer in the heavyweight wrestling division. So that's the type of guy you think you want. Obviously, if you're a Grizz fan and you're excited about that, you should be. I mean, on one hand, it's inexplicable and crazy that there was ever in a scenario where the Grizz were struggling to get kids from Missoula to stay at the University of Montana. So this is sort of a do the easy stuff right type of thing. Like, let's just get it done. But on the other hand, like, they're winning recruiting battles with a new head coach. All that said, Kent Haslam, Montana's athletic director, went out of his way to say that this was a 1-year contract, but it's not an interim status.
Yeah.
But Bobby Kennedy is coaching for his job, starting the day he was hired until the day that they play Montana State and Bozeman and then whatever beyond that. What do you think of just sort of the alignment or unalignment of the fact that they are making waves in recruiting early on, but there's a chance that the coach that's bringing these guys in isn't going to be here next year. Like, how do you make sense of those two dynamics?
Well, it is an odd dynamic, to say the least. But also, it's not something that any of these kids aren't aware of. You know,
no question.
They know what the story is, and any parent.
I mean, heck, man, I bet you Bobby Kennedy's honest enough to just tell them.
Well, for sure. I mean, this was in the first 30 seconds of the first press conference that happened, and, you know, when this all went down.
Right, it's not a secret.
So
it's a good point.
This is a very, very well known. But any parent, you have to think, is asking very, very direct questions to Bobby Kennedy and to Kent Haslam and to anybody else that would be in their living rooms going, well who is running the show and why and how is this going to go and how's it going to go for my son? That said, I also think, man, it used to be if you made a commitment to a university, you knew you were committing for 5 years.
Sure, right.
You know? That ain't the case now. And so you can commit to this guy this year, and if it goes great, you keep on rolling. And if it doesn't, see you later.
Sure, right.
And so,
I mean, you literally get a free release now too if there's a coaching change,
totally.
Right?
Like, and that's all good. But I just think that the weight of now, I still think that a 1-year deal is a strange thing, and I don't think that it works to Coach Kennedy's benefit at this moment in time. But I also think that it is not nearly as big of a, quote, lame duck situation as it would have been even 5 years ago.
I just want to know, like, what is the actual bar of expectation, though? Because, like Kent Haslam said at the press conference, that the expectation for the University of Montana football team is the national championship. Fair. It's what you should say. It's the truth. But that's not true in 2026 for Bobby Kennedy. Like, he doesn't have to win the national championship to retain his job, right?
Certainly. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, though, is, like, I think there needs to be sort of like a established bar, at least internally, of here's where you need to get to, right? And does this play into it? I mean, clearly it was a point of consternation at the University of Montana that Bobby Houck was not recruiting these guys at a high level. Like, this all got stirred up when Brent Vigen was in Missoula less than 1 week after winning the national championship, and he's posted a picture on Twitter of him and Eli Kasberg standing in Matt Johnson's office. That, like, lit the internet on fire because Bobcat fans are loving it, and Grizz fans are thinking, where's Coach Houck? Yeah. You know, his season's been done for 3 weeks, and Brent Vigen just got back from the Natty. Why isn't he down there? So I just wonder, though, if this getting these guys plays into, like, the holistic picture of retention, right? Is it just about the record? Is it just about the rivalry? Or do these things he's doing right now in the offseason maybe play into the longevity of his position?
Oh, I think I think it's all the above, right? I mean, I think it is going and getting guys who are legit D1 players, first of all, you recruits at least, right?
Yep.
And keeping the guys that are in your own backyard in your backyard.
Yep.
And doing the things that the perception was were not being done under Coach Houck. And also doing the things that you should just be doing because you're the head coach of a football team. I mean, this is the position. This is what the job is. So you do all that stuff, and then you put your best foot forward. The thing that I wonder about for Bobby Kennedy is not so much because it's not just that he's on a 1-year contract. The statement was he's on a 1-year contract, and we are conducting a national search.
Correct.
Right? Like, that was stated as it's going to happen.
Right.
So my question is not so much does Bobby Kennedy, what does he need to do? What's enough for him to retain his position?
Sure.
But it is there already some names out there that are preferred as of right now, regardless of the job that's done? And there is always going to be a list of candidates that you should be having on the ready, in the Rolodex, so to speak, if you're the athletic director and then the staff that's making these decisions of who is the next man up in the head coaching spot for all sports, but certainly for football and people that should have been and certainly would have been talked to. I mean, if you think that Bobby Kennedy is the only person that spoke to Kent Haslam about this position, even after it was filled because it happened in such a hurry, I just can't believe that, right? There's plenty of people calling Kent Haslam's phone going, hey, what do we got? Because I'm interested, More
on the coaching transition at Montana and on maybe a little Montana State as well, and whatever else we can get to during this blindside first hour. Ryan Tutel, Colter Nuanez. See you on the other side. Don't change that dial. Keep it right here, 102.9 ESPN Radio.
DeMorris Buick GMC is ready to help you safely travel Montana's scenic roads in comfort and style. Stop by DeMorris today and test drive some outstanding SUVs. Right now, take advantage of closeout pricing on the uniquely designed and well-equipped 2024 Buick Encore GX with models starting at $28,895. Don't miss this opportunity. Go to demorris.com to preview our inventory of 2024 Buick Encores and then pay a visit to DeMorris Buick GMC on West Broadway in Missoula, your family-owned hometown dealership for over 60 years.
It's easy to see why Montana is the treasure state. At the University of Montana, we look inside. We see an old truth with fresh eyes, that Montana's greatest treasure is its people. So whatever tomorrow brings, we meet it the only way we know how, with a mind for making. Because what's made in Montana is remaking the world.
ESPN Missoula Sports Center.
The knockout blow came early as Montana State's women's basketball team kept on rolling. Hello, I am Colter Nuanez. Montana State scored the game's first 8 points, built a double-digit lead over Portland in the first quarter, and rode brilliant performances by Addison Harris and Taylor Chirick with a 72-54 win in an electric Worthington Arena on Thursday night. The victory propels the Bobcats into the WNIT Great 8, where they'll play South Dakota in Vermillion on Sunday at noon. Montana State head coach Trisha Binford credited the crowd, saying it was, quote, incredible. The same could be said of Montana State's superb sophomores. Harris scored a game-high 23 points, added 2 rebounds and 2 assists. In spite of being saddled with 2 early fouls, Chirick scored 17 points, grabbed 13 rebounds, dished out 5 assists, and snared 3 steals. Montana State held the Pilots to 21% shooting in the first quarter, while forcing 8 UP turnovers. That helped spark the 27th win of the season for MSU, the second most in school history. The Cats also raised their home record to 15-0, and the crowd of 3,897 was Montana State's third largest largest of the season. MSU is the last basketball team from the state of Montana that is still playing. The Bobcats lost the bidding process for the grade 8 to South Dakota, so they'll travel to Vermilion on Sunday. The Coyotes are led by Kerry Amy, who was the head coach at Idaho for a single season before taking the USD job. All the action from the WNIT can be found on the ESPN Plus app.
Nuanez Now on ESPN Radio.
Certainly one of the best parts about this gig here at Missoula Broadcasting Company is, well, I guess, twofold. The chance to be around young people. We have a pretty new staff over the last, we've turned over our staff quite a bit just because of a couple people retiring, leaving the company, whatever. But we had a lot of youth around here, which is great. But also, just being around music is so fun. But if you were around here, like anytime there's like congregations in the kitchen or the front room, like 99% of the time it's either a music conversation or a music debate, which is great. So there's always like education going on. I was totally uneducated about both Tool and A Perfect Circle until my brother gave me a lengthy lecture during a freezing cold walk in Boise, Idaho earlier this month. And he's like, man, you got to talk to Ryan about this. Ryan Tutel in studio with us here on Nuanez Now. So you got to talk to Ryan about this. And so then last night when Ryan and I were hanging, then all of a sudden we started listening to Tool and A Perfect Circle. So that's my new kick. It's awesome.
13th step. Do yourself a favor, and nobody does this anymore. I understand if you don't do it. I'm not trying to put more on your
should.
plate.
I promise. It's a great experience.
The entire record, song 1 to song 12, just let it run.
Man.
And you can send me cookies.
Man, it's so funny how you say people don't do that anymore. We have a mutual friend, and he and I are always talking about how anytime there's like a time where we have like a moment where we're just get to be alone, just go sit in the darkness and just listen to music. And that might sound like weird and depressing. It is not at all.
Dude,
like by yourself, just 40 minutes of just one album, so great.
Late 90s was when I went to high school. I had a lot of time alone during that stretch, and we were on the peak CDs sort of time frame there. And Hello Nasty came out, Beastie Boys, and it's like it's not an insert, but it's like a fold out CD, and it's 5 pages of the smallest font you've ever seen. I mean, there's a lot of lyrics in Beastie Boys songs, especially when the record is like 26 tracks.
Totally.
I can do.
Was this the double disc?
No, it's this is a single disc.
And then there was the double disc somewhere in the late 90s, early 2000s too.
This was I can do that almost whole record, which again speaks to my loneliness, but also to the joy that can be derived by just spending time with some music. You know?
You gotta love it. Okay, so we were talking about Grizz football with Bobby Kennedy and. The fact that it's been sort of declared that there will be a national search at Montana, and Kennedy will be a part of that, and at what level he will be a part of that will depend on how he does in the 12 games plus the playoffs in the 2026 season. So, interesting to see, and I will be interested to see some of the names that surface for that, too. I think the fact that there is a vacancy currently, at least, or a transition, we should say, at president of the University of Montana, I think that impacts a lot of that narrative as well. Okay, I got another college football question for you.
Okay, so we're doing blindsides. We should tell the people what we're doing. Okay.
Yeah. If you're just tuning in, we each prepared 2 questions each for each other, and he doesn't know what I'm asking him. I don't know what he's asking me. We talked some March Madness and some Grizz football earlier, so take it to the other side of the Continental Divide.
All right.
Montana State.
Yes.
They started spring ball on Tuesday, so they're about 2 weeks, I guess 3 weeks behind University of Montana. The Bobcats, though, now officially sort of starting their quote-unquote title defense.
Yeah.
I do a lot of podcasts, do a lot of radio. I go on other people's podcasts. It's basically consensus among people that covered the FCS, with the exception of Sam Herder, our good buddy. He thinks South Dakota State's can be very good and could be an actual real challenger to Montana State. Still thinks Montana State is the favorite. Almost everybody else that knows anything about the FCS is anointing the Bobcats as the 2026 national champions already. I mean, basically saying they're an overwhelming favorite. How can you not think that? I mean, they only had 9 seniors last year. They returned everybody from their star quarterback to their star running back to their star receiver, a sweet defense, all these different things. Do you think that the number one obstacle that Montana State has in front of them is the fact that everybody in the country is deeming them as number one?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, that and health, right?
Sure.
But I'm going to set that aside because that's just low-hanging fruit.
And it's luck.
Yeah. But, you know, there is a different dynamic for any team to go be chasing something to summit the mountain and finally do it. And then when you've done it, to then be the ones to defend it, who everybody else is chasing. And even last year, Montana State was not the definitive best team in the country
until the end.
Until the end,
right?
You know, and
I started thinking they were when they won in Missoula.
Yeah, no, right, exactly, and they were the best team in the country, obviously,
right? But
that wasn't a moniker that they had to carry throughout an entire season. Sure. And what happens, you know? What do we never see Vegan do? Lose games that he's supposed to win. He wins every game he's supposed to win.
All of them.
Well, what happens if he doesn't? You know, what happens if they, you know, teams have bad losses. What happens if Montana State has a bad loss? Like, I'm not talking about a close loss to a good team. I'm talking about a double-digit loss to a middle-road Big Sky Conference team. Now, sitting here talking to you, that sounds absurd.
It does.
And yet, it can happen. And if it does, how do you respond to that? How do you bounce back from that? And we have seen all kinds of teams. I mean, the Eagles seem like a perpetual example of this, where as soon as they win a Super Bowl and they look like they got all the talent in the world, they come back and nobody talks to anybody anymore. And everybody's sort of like bitter and, you know, whatever. And again, being around the program, being around the kids.
Yeah.
You don't expect anything like that to happen, but man, weird stuff happens.
It does.
So I guess the thing is the best I can say is anytime you can say, do you want this team or the field in just about any sport, you go, well, give me the field.
Sure.
And if you offered me that right now, I would be so torn. And that is such a compliment to Montana State.
It is.
Right? But It is the carrying that weight and just the unknowns that just happen in a season. And I'm not just talking about injury stuff. I'm talking about personal stuff that comes up that you don't know, you know, stuff that goes down or whatever, interpersonal relationships, things, whatever it might be. You got a new president. This president just showed up. He got to ride the wave. Now, you know, is he going to be, you know, a great leader at Montana State University?
Impressive so far, Brock Tessman has been, but certainly. It's a
but he's new and so you got to, you know, there's a lot of different stuff that way. So that's why it's always, and that's what makes being the definitive odds-on number one team so strenuous, because nobody knows more than Coach Vegan how much unforeseen things are going to happen between now and December of next year.
Two biggest things that the Bobcats have going for them is that, one, they basically recruited all the guys that could have left back to their roster under the definitive recruiting pitch of leave your legacy as the first team in the history of Montana State to go back-to-back. The first team in the history of the state of Montana to go back-to-back, right? Like, what's the earning capabilities if you go win 2 national championships? You're Justin Lamson. I mean, it doesn't even matter if you go get an NIL deal for 1 year somewhere else. Like, the long, you know what I mean? Like, so, but these guys are committed to it. They know what the narrative is about. Like, they're doing this for the glory of winning more than any other factor that's infiltrated college football. The other biggest advantage Montana State has in this is Brent Vegan.
Yeah.
Because Vegan has chosen and rechosen to stay at Montana State, and I think that's going to continue to build momentum. Montana State has continued to make it worth his while with the ability to give him compensation that is more and more like FBS, you know, competitive level of compensation. But more than anything, He's done this before. He won 3 rings in a row at North Dakota State as the offensive coordinator. He knows what, there is a defined formula he has already implemented and used. So I think that's the other part where he knows exactly. I mean, he talked for 53 minutes in his spring ball press conference, and the entire thing was about him remotivating the team and getting them to believe that, like, here is the structure we're going to use to chase a second straight.
Yeah. Do you want to do one more now?
We'll take a break, come back, one more blind side on the other side. Don't change that dial. Keep it right here. It's 102.9 ESPN Radio.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
What do you expect me to say to her? She's getting married in 30 minutes.
We're doing everything we can.
John, can you hear me? John.
Mountain Town Vacation Rental Management, your local partner for vacation rental success. We provide a fully customized hosting experience tailored to your needs and goals. Your home is listed on every major site, helping you maximize visibility and bookings. And our local team is available 24/7 to handle guest needs and booking inquiries. Let us take the stress out of managing your vacation home. Contact us today at mountaintownvrm.com or give us a call at 406-369-3080.
It's Nuanez Now on 102.9 ESPN Missoula. Watch the show statewide on SWX Montana Television.
You ever get into these guys? Alkaline Trio?
On a very, like, when I hear it, I listen type of deal, but I have not taken.
Your brother was into that.
Oh yeah,
once upon a time. Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio. Ryan Tutel kicking it with us here from the Grizzly Disposal Studio. Grizzly Disposal has one bin recycling now. They'll pick it up at your house. Cardboards, plastics, cans, all that stuff. Twice a month. You want to make the switch or add the service or both. 406-541-7171. Grizzly Disposal. The only bears that should be in your garbage. All right. One more blindside. I mean, maybe we'll get to it, but I doubt it.
This is a time of year and place here in Montana, springtime. Okay, opening day baseball.
Indeed.
Yesterday and day before, and obviously, the Masters coming up around the corner. So Here we go.
Okay.
And I'm asking you specifically because of your historical knowledge of sports in Montana and individuals.
Pressure's on.
I'm not going to quiz you on it, but just using that to project.
Yep.
Okay. Is it more likely for Montana, the state of Montana, to turn out a professional golfer or a professional baseball player? And it's odd because
how are we gauging professional? Like on the PGA Tour?
Well,
and into Major League Baseball?
I'm going to say Major League Baseball, yes. It has to be MLB.
Yeah.
And not farm system stuff, like got to be in the show. And then for golf, Riggs Johnston made the cut at the Open Championship.
He did.
He's a professional golfer.
Yes.
He's on he's a DP World Tour winner. I would love to up the ante to the PGA Tour, but you can't. I mean, it is a fact that he is a professional golfer. But I am trying to get to that elite level. And I mean, I understand the reason baseball and golf are kind of related in the state of Montana is our short playing seasons for both.
Totally.
The lack of infrastructure really for both, although it's growing, but to be able to do it and have it coached and competed in at a high enough level to get good enough to get to these places. But yeah, in general, I mean, we just don't see it. There's been a couple guys going back that played baseball from the state of Montana. Mm-hmm. Riggs the only golfer I'm aware of. Maybe there's another.
I mean, based on the history of what has been accomplished thus far, it's like 25-1 baseball, right? Because I'm unaware of anybody. I'm unaware of anybody that's been better or even close to as good as Riggs Johnston in golf from Montana. I'm unaware. Maybe I'm ignorant or don't know anything. If you have it, something 406-888-1029 and let us know.
But also, don't you think that golf has grown faster than baseball in the last 30 to 40 years?
That's where the sample size comes in, right?
Right.
Just over the last over the last 6 years, we've only seen 3 guys from Montana that made it actually like to the show. Cody Hewer, who's from Missoula. He's been in the bigs for 3 of the last 6 years, basically. Grant McCrary from Billings was in the show from 24 to 25. That's it, just a brief stint so far. Then you got to go back 13 years for Rob Johnson from Butte, who played for the Mariners. Tyler Graham from Great Falls, who was a great player at Oregon State, and then had a cup of coffee in the show.
And the other question I want to know is guys being from a place is one thing, but also like born and raised where you're playing baseball formatively in the state of Montana,
There's also like flawed different circumstances too, right? Like a long time ago, it was the number one sport in terms of producing pros. Like you had like Dave McNally and Jeff Ballard, and some of those, Jim Otten, like guys that I mean, Dave McNally won. He's a 20-game winner like 4 or 5 times for the Orioles. He won a World Series. Like he's he's definitely one of the greatest athletes from Montana ever,
for sure.
But like back in the day, you used to just be able to play baseball on the Legion team, and then once you're out of high school, you could just go play for the Butte Copper Kings or the Billings. They weren't affiliated teams yet, right?
Yeah.
Like we had the Missoula Timberjacks and the Billings Mustangs. All these teams weren't part of like a feeder system yet, or now the Independent Pioneer League is a little bit more linear, right? You could just, if you're a good player, you go get your shot, and then work your way up the ranks.
Yeah.
That seems like it's fallen off, but golf has certainly changed. So I mean, here's the other part though. Riggs Johnston might be just the product of his environment too, because there is not a ton of like championship level courses in Montana still, but there is several handfuls.
Yeah.
That was not probably the case even 50 years ago or 30 years ago, right?
Well, the other thing too that is strange about golf is you could play the hardest golf courses that are known to man if they were in the state of Montana, and it's just going to be a completely different experience than playing a Florida course or a desert course in Arizona. And some of that's elevation, a lot of that is grass types, and that's what golf is learning how to be able to play in both different conditions, but literally on different course, like the entire makeup of the course is different from one to another. Most obviously, a course in England, an Open Championship type of course that's a links course compared to something in the Pacific Northwest that's just trees everywhere. I mean, it's almost a different sport, and that's one of the things that makes golf different from everything else. So you can play as much golf as you want in the state of Montana, and you still got to go other places in order to be able to do that.
Yeah, I think the implementation of high school baseball is going to help this part of the story too. Just because I'm not in any way implying that the high school baseball teams are on the same level as the American Legion baseball teams. Like, one has existed for a lot longer. There's way more structure. I mean, like the Mavs would beat all of the high school baseball teams in Montana, like always, constantly, basically. Especially because it's like a Missoula All-Star team.
Exactly.
Right? So, but there is this element where there's been some great athletes and some great baseball players. I know guys from the last 25 years in Missoula and around Montana that stopped playing baseball when they're like 15 or 16 because they played other sports. They played football, whatever. And, you have to choose one thing or the other. You can't be playing Mavs baseball or any other Legion baseball well into August when then fall camp starts or football right away, or you're having crossover. So a lot of great players have quit, and so I just wonder if the funnel is just more open now. And I mean, if there's a kid here's an example. I played baseball in like late middle school, early high school with a kid that could legitimately throw over 90 miles per hour, but he had no illusions of ever wanting to play for the American Legion. So he just stopped playing baseball when he's 16. But if that guy was in like an organized situation that wasn't just like Mount Jumbo West Senior Boys Little League, a scout could see him and all of a sudden who knows what that guy becomes. It's just going to have more opportunities for guys.
I think that's right. I think this, I won't say it's seamless, but the little bit more formed to the school structure and the school calendar that you have with sports that are associated with the schools make a big deal. So the same thing is for hockey and for Legion baseball. It's like this, it's utterly extracurricular, and you have to make a big commitment to that thing, and pretty much at the expense of anything else, at least for that time period.
And your parents also have to make a huge commitment to it.
Right. So execution is going to matter hugely, and I'm a big fan of Legion, but I'm very happy that baseball is in the high schools. If it goes well, same thing. I feel like that about lacrosse and a couple other things as well.
I mean, our good buddy Tommy Evans from 103.3 The Trail, former producer of the show, crashes the show a couple times a month. His little brother Cody, sort of in that, a really talented baseball player, didn't really have the time to do the Mavs thing because of other commitments and desires and all that. But Big Sky adds baseball. Now he's going to go play at a community college, and who knows what his shot can be, right? Yeah. He could turn into a D1 guy in a couple of years. Right. I mean, that'd be fun. So it's extended opportunities for young people, certainly. Ryan Tutel, Colter Nuanez here on Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio. Hour one of the books, hour two coming at you. We'll give you just a couple of thoughts on tonight's games, and then Carol and the Chicken Doesn't Know Sports, plus some rivalry lacrosse with the Cats hosting the Grizz this evening. All that next. Keep it right here, 102.9 ESPN Radio.
Life can change in an instant. If you've been hurt in an accident, suffered from medical negligence, or are facing criminal charges, you don't have to face it alone. At Ryan Miller & Coburn, we're here to listen and fight for you. We're your neighbors, traveling across Montana to stand by your side as your link to justice. Real people, real help, right here in Montana. Ryan Miller & Coburn, your Montana attorneys.
DeMorris Buick GMC is ready to help you safely travel Montana's scenic roads in comfort and style. Stop by DeMorris today and test drive some outstanding SUVs. Right now, take advantage of closeout pricing on the exceptionally designed 2024 Buick Envision with models starting at $39,795. Don't miss this opportunity. Go to DeMorris.com to preview our inventory of 2024 Buick Envisions and then pay a visit to DeMorris Buick GMC on West Broadway in Missoula, your family-owned hometown dealership for over 60 years.
Life's about the journey, not the destination. Right? Why can't it be about both?
ESPN Radio for Western Montana, KKVU HD3 Stevensville, and 102.9 FM on K275BS Missoula. ESPN Missoula Sports Center.
The knockout blow came early as Montana State's women's basketball team kept on rolling. Hello, I am Colter Nuanez. Montana State scored the game's first 8 points, built a double-digit lead over Portland in the first quarter, and rode brilliant performances by Addison Harris and Taylor Chirick to a 72-54 win in an electric Worthington Arena on Thursday night. The victory propels the Bobcats into the WNIT Great 8, where they'll play South Dakota in Vermillion on Sunday at noon. Montana State head coach Tricia Binford credited the crowd, saying it was, quote, incredible. The same could be said of Montana State's superb sophomores. Harris scored a game-high 23 points, added 2 rebounds and 2 assists. In spite of being saddled with 2 early fouls, Chirick scored 17 points, grabbed 13 rebounds, dished out 5 assists, and snared 3 steals. Montana State held the Pilots to 21% shooting in the first quarter, while forcing 8 UP turnovers. That helped spark the 27th win of the season for MSU, the second most in school history. The Cats also raised their home record to 15-0, and the crowd of 3,897 was Montana State's third largest of the season. MSU is the last basketball team from the state of Montana that is still playing. The Bobcats lost the bidding process for the Great 8 to South Dakota, so they'll travel to Vermillion on Sunday. The Coyotes are led by Kerry Amy, who was the head coach at Idaho for a single season before taking the USD job. All the action from the WNIT can be found on the ESPN Plus app.
This is Nuanez Now on 102.9 ESPN Radio Missoula.
Welcome back. 129 ESPN Radio, SWX Montana Television, and the ESPN MT app. Colter Nuanez coming to you through the Grizzly Disposal Studio here at the Missoula Broadcasting Company. If you have a construction project going on, Grizzly Disposal has construction roll-off boxes, and they can get them to you quick. Don't wait days or even weeks. 24-hour turnaround times at Grizzly Disposal. Visit GrizzlyDisposal.com. Grizzly Disposal, the only Bears that should be in your garbage. Missing in the first hour of the show, Ryan Tutel, kind enough to sit shotgun with me. We talked NCAA tournament from last night. If you hadn't heard, Arizona and Arkansas both got, Arizona ran Arkansas off the court, and Illinois outslugged Houston. Those were the nightcaps. As we were coming off the air yesterday, Iowa was in the midst of a dogfight with Nebraska. They ended up winning that one, pulling away late. And Purdue was going back and forth with Texas, and then they ended up winning at the horn. So 4 of the 8 Sweet 16, 4 of the final 8 teams are solidified. That's again Purdue, Iowa, Arizona, and Illinois. So 3 from the Big Ten out of the 4 that's in the Elite 8 already. Tonight, soon, here, actually just in a pretty quick moment, you have a couple more Big Ten teams with a chance to move on to the Elite 8. Duke is the first game to tip. That's going to tip here in about 5 minutes. They take on St. John's. Duke 6.5-point favorites on that one. That's number 1 versus number 5 in the East region. Then at 5:35, you have Michigan versus Alabama. Wolverines, big-time favorites, 9.5 points tonight. They are the number 1 seed in the Midwest region and looking more and more like, I would say right now the teams that are left, Arizona and Michigan, are the two that have looked like the team to beat more than anybody. Duke really came alive last round in the second half after having a pretty sputtery first game against Siena, and then up and down first half against TCU. They turned it on. They have a ton of talent too, but I would say 1A is Arizona, 1B is Michigan, then Duke is sort of that 2A team right now. The nightcaps tonight: Michigan State versus UConn. Can the Sparties pull an upset? Or will a Dan Hurley team keep on marching? And then you have Tennessee versus Iowa State. That starts at 8:10. The Cyclones, 3.5-point favorites. By the way, UConn, 2.5-point favorites over Michigan State. My picks tonight, I got Michigan. I got Duke. I think those two are going to be really hard to beat. I love what Alabama does. They get up and down. They're really, really savvy. They got a lot of speed. They are really, really polished. But Michigan's just a monster. I mean, Michigan is a juggernaut. They got so much size, so much talent. I mean, when people say they look like an NBA team, that's always a mischaracterization. That is a hyperbolous one. But Michigan has several guys that are going to be played in the NBA. They have a lot of talent. Duke does too. So I think those two are going to be hard to beat. I'm going with the upset bid for Michigan State. My good buddy who's a Michigan State fan said I'm crazy, but I got Michigan State over UConn. I like what the Spartans bring to the table. UConn's good, and they have one of the best coaches in college basketball. And then tonight, I was actually surprised that Iowa State's only 3.5, because I think Iowa State's really, really good, and I think Tennessee is good, but not in the same. I think Tennessee is the team that's playing tonight that's not in the same class as any of the other 7 teams that are playing. Like, I would take every team that plays tonight over Tennessee. Again, they're good, but they're not great. I mean, an 11-loss team. You're comparing that to a 3-loss Michigan team, a 2-loss Duke team. So I got Iowa State this evening. Well, it's now to 9 ESPN Radio. Appreciate you for hanging with us. I'm Colter Nuanez. Let's have some fun. All right, it's been a while, so maybe she'll get us canceled today because she's got a couple weeks worth of stuff for us. Chicken Doesn't Know Sports here at ESPN Radio. How you doing?
I'm good. There's nothing really that exciting. I mean, there's like nothing.
Welcome to my life.
Nothing that will get us canceled, I don't think.
Well,
but you never know what's going to come out of my mouth.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Let's see how far we can take it.
True dat.
There was something controversial I was going to ask you about, but now I completely forgot already.
Oh.
I'll remember at some point, I think.
Okay. All right.
All right. So what do you got this week?
Well, since we're in March Madness.
Yeah, how's your bracket? You didn't fill one out.
No.
Really? You didn't even do like the pick the colors, pick the
I wouldn't
mascots?
even know. I don't even know how to do it. I wouldn't know what to do.
Like you've worked in office environments for forever, though.
I've never done a bracket.
You've never filled one out,
never.
Just for fun.
Never in my life.
Like, I used to live in New Mexico, so I'll pick them. And Chicago, here's DePaul. No, nothing, never.
No.
Not even just for...
No.
Wow. I'm just amazed. I just thought like every person in the world filled out a bracket.
No, I don't know I don't even know how it works.
I think that 90% of people that fill out brackets don't know how it works. That's what makes it funny, because the people that don't know anything are the ones that always win, and people like me never win.
I just learned this morning this 8th grader filled out the perfect bracket. I think the women's basketball.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I don't know if 8th graders can win money.
So. I nailed the entire Elite 8, Final Four, and national champion when I was in 8th grade at the Missoulian contest, which had at that time 10,000 entries probably, and the prize was Lady Grizz season tickets.
Oh,
but they'd never had a minor win it, so then my parents had to go get it. But my dad thought it was so cool that I won Lady Grizz season tickets. Do you still
have the picture? Do you still have it?
I think I do. Somewhere? I remember the Final Four. It was UConn, Oklahoma State, Georgia Tech, and. Man, who was the fourth one? Because it was when Chris Bosh was at Georgia Tech. UConn won it. Marcus Smart was at Oklahoma State. Oh, man, I'll remember the fourth one. Anyways, it was a fun tournament.
You should probably frame it and put it up in here.
Well, the thing is, that was basically the peak of my life. I've gotten no smarter or any more accomplished since then.
Wow.
It's been basically a baseline since I was 14 years old.
Wow.
Or maybe worse. I don't know.
What's happening? We're going to have a conversation a little bit.
No, we're just talking facts.
Okay.
So anyways, you don't have a bracket, so your bracket's doing great.
Yeah.
What about March Madness then do you have to talk about?
Well, I have a couple stories for you. So do you know who the Boozer twins are?
I do.
So Cameron and Caden play for Duke.
Yep.
So their father is Carlos Boozer, who
Indeed.
is an NBA player.
Indeed. Longtime NBA player. Also played for Duke.
So they're twins. Their older brother was born with sickle cell disease.
Okay.
So their parents, the only way to cure sickle cell disease was with like a bone marrow transplant.
Yes.
So their parents underwent IVF, picked the two perfect, what are they called?
Embryos.
Embryos, thank you. And basically used these boys to cure their older son.
Wow.
And it worked. And he's cured.
That's awesome.
And these two players are excellent basketball players playing for Duke.
Indeed.
So they've not only I don't know what kind of superhero status they've got. They've cured their brother's disease. They're playing for Duke. What kind of pressure is that in your life?
Yeah, they are, especially Cam. It seems like such an elevated being. I don't know if he actually even feels pressure.
Interesting.
Because he's a prodigy. I mean, he people were talking about him when he was like 14. So,
really?
So then, he was projected to be the number one player in the country since he was a sophomore in high school. And then this year he's at Duke and he is the number one player in the country. He's going to be the number one pick in the NBA draft. It's sort of just like there's not really a lot of guys like him. He's very much wired. This is so much pressure on this kid. I'm saying he doesn't even have pressure on him, but like from the broad sense, he does. He reminds me so much of Kevin Garnett, and I don't know if they're going to be the same sort of players, but in terms of their trajectory, like he's just going to be an awesome NBA player when he's 19 years old.
Now,
which is pretty crazy.
His brother as good?
This is interesting because they are twins.
Yeah.
His brother is fine. Like he's definitely, he's good enough to play at Duke when he's a freshman, but he is not nearly the prodigy that Cam is.
Okay.
It's a weird twin
that
situation.
Would be hard.
It would be hard.
And then knowing you're only born because you're put on this earth to save someone else's life.
Right.
Is crazy to me.
That would be sort of gratifying, though.
It would be, but what if it didn't work?
Totally. But I guess it did work,
right? It did work,
so.
And they're great. And I hope for the best. That seems like a lovely family. You would do anything for your child.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you bring two beings onto this earth to save that child. And then these two kids go on to be these great basketball players. It's incredible.
It's a pretty cool story.
Now, I don't know if the other son played basketball also, but...
the older one?
Yeah.
Right.
But good for them. It'll be fun to watch, see how this all shakes out.
Boozers have a crazy story. So Carlos's father was in the military. So he was born on a military base in West Germany, but then he grew up in Juneau, Alaska.
Really?
Which is not a basketball hotbed.
No.
But when Duke went to get him, people thought, well, either Mike Krzyzewski's losing his mind or this guy must be unbelievable. Because
so
if you're,
Carlos also played for Duke?
He did.
Oh, that's cute.
So, if you're good enough to go from Alaska to Duke, especially, this moment, you're talking about the late 90s, early 2000s when Duke was absolutely rolling. People are like, well, this guy must be unbelievable if he's good enough to go from Juneau, Alaska. This would be like somebody from Montana going to Duke, right? This just doesn't happen. But it is pretty cool that so often these Nepo babies don't make it at all. But these kids are totally adjusted and they seem to have good heads on their shoulders. If you haven't been watching the games, but every other commercial is with them. They have an Allstate deal. They have a Verizon, one of the mobile network deals. And they have all these funny things because they're twins, right? So they have all these funny twin commercials, and I don't know, man. It's crazy to be able to be level-headed. I just can't imagine how I would be or how I would act if I made $2 million when I was 19 years old.
I know.
Cam Boozer is making $2.8 million right now. He just graduated high school.
I'd be insufferable.
When you got $100 when you're that age, you're insufferable. And so irresponsible, let alone $2 million. So it's a cool story though. Yeah. Carlos Boozer, a great NBA player, also known for perhaps the greatest beard in NBA history. He's got a great beard.
Oh, that is a good beard.
Yeah, he's got a good beard. Beard goals, Carlos Boozer, certainly.
Well, I love the Boozer family right now. This is the kind of family love I like to see. For real. It's great. Chicken Dozen Sports here on ESPN Radio 102.9 FM, as well as SWX Montana Television and the ESPN MT app. Carolyn joining us in studio. All right, what else you got? Okay, so another March Madness story. So have you, before March Madness, before basketball, all this stuff, have you heard of High Point University?
I had never heard of High Point University before last year's March Madness.
Okay. So this year, High Point University I'd heard of because I've seen like Instagram and TikToks about this place, and I'm like, this place looks awesome. So they are a private school in North Carolina.
Methodist school.
Yep. It is basically a luxury resort. I don't even think it's accredited.
It's unclear if it's actually accredited, but
it's $71,000 a year to go there. It is a life skills university.
Life skills. Discover the premier life skills university, says the website.
Now, I don't hate this. I hate the cost. I do think life skills are very important, and this younger generation does not. A lot of them do not possess the life skills that you need to be an adult.
Man, yes, totally.
So there are parts of this place that I think are incredible. The reason I'm bringing it up in sports is because they beat Wisconsin in a crazy upset last week.
They did. They were the only team. Them and VCU were the only upsets of the first round.
So that was cool. My nephew goes to VCU, so I was excited about that.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. But I had to just tell you about High Point because, first of all, not only they beat Wisconsin, which was cool, they chartered a plane for 300 students to go see the game in Portland, which was really cool. Now, for $71,000 a year, you get your education.
Your education.
Air quotes education. Yep. But you also get complimentary laundry. You get free events. So I suppose
do you know the part where you can't live anywhere but campus? You have to live on campus.
That makes sense.
You're required to live in this little city.
It's a little city.
You can when you're a senior. You're allowed to move off of campus if you're a senior and you've gotten good grades. But until then, you can't.
Free parking, which, trust me, as a mom for MSU kid, that is invaluable.
The parking wars when I was in school at the University of Montana. I mean, you were battling with the ticket office, with the lady that gives the tickets. It was like a free-for-all to get a parking spot every day. So
free parking, free airport shuttles if you need to get to the airport, free tutoring, and then 300 students out of the 6,300 got to go for free to this game, which was pretty cool. The other thing they have there is once a week, as part of your meal plan, you can go eat at a fine dining restaurant on campus.
They have 30 fine dining restaurants. They have steakhouses and
sushi,
teppanyaki grill place.
They have a mock airline cabin, so you could learn how to negotiate deals on a plane, which I think is hilarious. You learn how to schmooze. And honestly, I think that should be part of every education.
For sure.
I don't know this, but if they teach you how to do
what the hell did we learn in college that taught us how to do our jobs? Nothing. Right. All we do is go and try to talk to people.
I mean, I learned that in the dorms and drinking.
Right. No, but we learned it socially, but there wasn't classes that were teaching you how to do this. This is all social experiment life skills like you're talking about.
Yeah. I think if they have, if they teach you how to learn your taxes, done. This is to do your taxes yourself. You know what else? If they teach you about, reteach you the government and voting and the electoral college, I think it would be worth $71,000.
I mean, everybody that goes there is not worried about the money because of the location, etc. Do you know the ice cream part?
No, what?
Everybody gets a free scoop of ice cream once a week.
Oh, they get that at MSU.
Well, sure, but I mean, it's just a good perk that you put on top of there. I don't know. It's probably
we went to the MSU dining hall when we dropped Ben off, and you not only do you get free scoops of ice cream, you can get an ice cream bar.
Oh yeah,
you can get. I mean, so
the dining hall is just. I mean, I was talking about this with a couple former Grizz football players. 20 years ago, we used to be so stoked when it was chicken strip night because you just get chicken strips at the food zoo, and that was gourmet dining. Yeah. Usually, it's just it's like hot lunch in high school. It's not that good.
Yeah,
it's fine. You can live on it or whatever. But now you go to the dining hall here in Missoula, or the dining hall there at Montana State, and it's you got 8 restaurants. Yeah. You can have whatever you want. $12. You can have pizza and a hamburger if you want. You can have the noodle grill. They got all sorts of stuff there. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's we ate at the Commons or whatever when we dropped Ben off, and I was like, oh man, this is how freshman 15 happens. Totally. I think I got the freshman 15 that lunch.
No doubt. Carol Chicken Does No Sports here on 102.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks to our great friends at Freedom Energy Solutions. I've been reading a lot about the solar power. Is pretty interesting. What do they got going on?
Well, if you're not seeing the savings you expected from your solar system, you're not alone. Freedom Solutions helps homeowners fix, maintain, and optimize existing solar systems regardless of who installed them. Let their team make sure your system's working the way it should. Schedule your free solar system check today. Call Freedom Solutions or visit gofreedomsolutions.com.
So they can install a solar power panel for you, or if you have somebody else's and you don't think it's working very well, they can help you out and get it running efficiently. So thanks to Freedom Energy Solutions for their support of Chicken Doesn't Know Sports. All right, what else you got?
Okay, so last week I saw the funniest Instagram post, and it was, the big, what's it called, the big dumper? The guy with the big butt?
Yeah, it's Cal Raleigh.
So the Mariners...
Okay, time out. What do you think of this nickname? So Montana's new football coach is named Bobby Kennedy, but he goes by BK, like Burger King.
Have it your way.
So that's the joke, is his recruiting slogan should be "Have it your way with BK." But then some of my friends have dubbed him the Big Whopper because he is a tall man that's funny, and his initials are BK. I don't know.
I love it.
Is this a good nickname?
I love it. The Big Whopper.
The Big Whopper.
I think it's great.
Like they've gotten 3 commitments from Missoula kids, like in-city recruits, really, and the Big Whopper strikes again is what my buddy keeps texting the group text.
Now, he's like officially the head coach? Like it's official? He's not just the interim. Okay, great. Good for the Big Whopper.
Good for the Big
Maybe
Whopper.
they can get a big Burger King sponsorship out of it.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe we'll start throwing Whoppers on the field instead of Twinkies.
Ooh, that'd be good. Or bad. I don't know.
I think that would be bad.
I think that'd be bad.
Yeah.
Nuanez Now, ESPN Radio. All right. So, anyways.
All right. So last week there was this picture of this new sundae they were going to be offering at Mariners at the stadium. It was called the Big Dumper, and it was chocolate ice cream with hot fudge inside a plastic toilet. And it was going all over, and I thought it was hilarious, and I was so excited about it. And then it turned out it was AI, and it's not really true. But I think they should do it.
Man, people are they going to want to buy like a toilet sundae?
Yeah, man. I would. I think it's hilarious. It's not a real. I mean, it's just a little plastic toilet with like a chocolate ice cream poop inside.
Have you seen the 999 thing that's going on right now?
No, what's that?
So it's the 999 challenge. You have to eat 9 hot dogs and drink 9 beers in 9 days. It's been going on forever. But now, like, it's always been like this sort of this urban legend of a challenge, and people would just do it. But now, like, all these ballparks are offering like their version of the 999. It's like the 999 box. But you
For
get
how much?
I don't know, but you get all the beers and all the hot dogs at once, which is just awful.
Yeah, then you're getting a cold hot dog.
And the warm beer, by the time you're on like the 6th or 7th beer, you just
cold hot dog, warm beer does not sound good.
Disgusting.
Yeah, no, thank you. I would. It all sounds disgusting.
What's your strategy if you have to do this? I'm chugging all the beer and then just slowly eating the hot dogs.
You're chugging 9 beers?
Yes.
I would barf.
I think most people would.
That actually reminds me of college. We played Century Club. Do you remember that game?
Where you take
100 shots of beer in 100 minutes.
So stupid.
And so we were up.
Yes, I remember.
In like the boys' dorm, and like the boys' wing of whatever
100
dorm.
shots of beer.
And girls were just barfing everywhere.
I'm
it was like
sure.
a total barf fest.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was really funny. It's
Did
one
you
of my
guys ever
favorite
play
memories.
the 40 hands?
No, what's that? Oh, where you tape
the 2 40s to your hands and you don't get them off until you finish it?
No, but that sounds hilarious.
I mean,
no. My strategy, if I were to do the 999, would just do 1 beer, 1 hot dog per inning.
Yeah.
I mean, and then let it set and sit.
Man. So I know a couple of people that have done this at the Paddleheads games. Way easier at the Paddleheads games because they score so many runs. And
right.
I mean, the average Major League Baseball game used to last 3 hours, and they implemented the pitch clock, so that's like shaved like 40 minutes off. 2 hours and 20 minutes to consume all of that is like a ridiculous pace. Yeah. I actually can't believe that there's stadiums that are offering this. It seems like a liability. Maybe they just know that no one can actually do it. Yeah, they buy it and then they just throw most of it away.
This is a great way to make.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like $1,000 or $999 because like how much would that cost at a stadium?
I don't know.
That would be expensive. I think it's a bad idea, and I don't think anyone should do it. And that is just all I have to say.
They're
about
generally charging $65 for this. There's a lot of people that are up in arms because there's a lot of guys that have accomplished this before they were offering these boxes, and they were doing it with real-sized hot dogs and real pints of beer.
Oh, so these are mini?
These are more mini.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I would just buy the $999 deal and then share it with my friends for $65.
Right. You'd have to have at least like 5 friends, right?
Yeah, that's true. And I don't. But I do want the poo sundae. Sounds delicious.
Carol and Chicken Doesn't Know Sports here on ESPN Radio. All right, what else?
All right, Cam
Scadaboo, yeah, good job.
Scadaboo. He was on a podcast last week, and he said CTE and asthma are fake. And
that's good.
And that
from the guy that shakes while he plays.
And that it's an excuse and it's weak. Now, of course, people got mad.
Bold.
And the commissioner made him issue an apology, and he said he was just joking. Now, is this the guy who like runs into walls on purpose with his head?
Yeah, and like he has like a
he clearly
tick.
has CTE.
I don't know if he has CTE yet, but he has like a tick for sure. And yeah, I mean, he's the type of running back that's going to be a prime candidate if things keep going how they're going.
Well, he issued an apology saying it was a joke, and his words were what misconstrued. People are pretty PO'd at him because CTE is real, obviously.
For sure.
I think it's the CTE talking.
Man, he's not old enough for that. But I mean, he's a rough and tumble.
I watched a video of him running headfirst into a wall.
For sure.
So, he could. I'm no doctor.
He could. There's no doubt.
So,
I wonder how long his phenomenon lasts.
I'd never heard of him until this, so.
Well, he's been on the show before. He played at Sac State, and then he transferred to Arizona State, and then he became a phenomenon. And then he was tearing it up for the Giants last year as a rookie, and then he snapped his leg in half. It was an absolutely gruesome, brutal injury. And he's the type of guy, if he's going to be a star that burns out fast, I think, because I just don't know how he's possibly going to stay healthy.
Well, he, I guess, hurt his ankle too, and so in the same interview, he said he's at 75%. So he's saying people with CTE and asthma are using that as an excuse, and he's got broken bones in his body. And I think that's not an excuse, but same difference, right?
Yeah, right.
So I don't know. He seems like
asthma is a weakness. That is quite a take.
He might need media training.
I think that's what endears him to people, though, is he is sort of just like this loose cannon meathead.
Do you think he's sort of like, what is wrong with me today?
I don't know. You're
Who is
losing
that?
it.
I know.
CTE for you.
I guess my CTE is kicking in.
Who?
Darkness Retreat guy.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers.
Is he like Aaron Rodgers, just says weird stuff?
Oh, totally different. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is like genius level smart. That's why he's so annoying.
Got it.
Like Aaron Rodgers got a perfect score on his SATs. Cam Scadaboo definitely did not take the SAT.
He didn't take it. He had someone take it for him.
He went to Sac State and Arizona State. Like let's be honest here.
And he runs headfirst into walls.
That's mean for all the alumni of those schools. But Cam Scadaboo is not. He's not an intellectual, as you'd say.
Well, clearly. Neither am I. I can't even remember people's names.
I mean, especially public enemy number one. He's like your favorite guy.
I know. I already forgot it. Who is it again?
Aaron Rodgers. He still hasn't retired.
I know.
He's got nowhere to play. He's just hanging out. Just waiting for somebody to want him again, I guess.
Okay.
So he can make up being married or whatever the heck he does.
I think he has an invisible wife.
Invisible wife.
Or he's being
Maybe
scammed.
he made her up while he was tripping out on ayahuasca.
He's like, I swear I saw her in Peru.
Oh man.
He's I haven't seen him in a while, but now I'm wondering if his wife is scamming him from overseas or something. Like he's being catfished. Maybe he's never even met her in real life.
Can you imagine if that was true?
It's like just some like guy in Africa saying that he's a prince and going to leave you billions of dollars.
Man, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is falling for that, but we'll see.
Well, it's just strange in this day and age we haven't seen this alleged wife.
There's a tabloid in in England, in London, that says they have.
Daily Mail?
It's called Diamond Hedge.
Okay, well, that is clearly not true. Now you're being scammed.
It could be.
Yeah. It's probably AI. What if his girlfriend or his wife is AI?
Now we're really getting into it.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, they say, I mean, there's multiple people that says this is his wife, and the rumor was that her name is Brittany, and this person's name is Brittany. I don't know.
She's cute, whoever that is.
I would hope that Aaron Rodgers would have an attractive wife. Yes, that seems like a.
Why? Maybe she has a great personality.
Well, sure. I mean,
God.
He's yeah. Okay. Moving on. Checking out Snow Sports here on ESPN Radio. All right, what else you got?
I don't have anything else.
Man, what are you? Okay, so how are we gonna get to High Point? I kind of want to go here.
Well, I kind of want Nick to go there. I got one more kid to send off to college.
I mean, you got $500,000 to spend.
No, that's the problem. He needs to get a track scholarship.
Do they have like scholarships there?
They do. Well,
I mean, they have athletic scholarships. I'm just wondering, like, it's because it's small, right? Didn't you say it's like yeah?
Kids,
okay,
yeah.
So I mean, it's like the size of like I don't know. Montana Tech probably has like 5,500 kids or something. So small school. I don't ever know what to think of these, because like Grand Canyon is kind of like this too, where you have to live on campus. But then they both reward you, but almost force you to exude school spirit too. Like Grand Canyon, you get credit for going to basketball games.
I think
like
that's great.
Like it's like a class.
Yeah.
So then when they play on a Tuesday night or whatever, there's like 8,000 students there, and everybody's going crazy.
I love that.
And it makes the environment super cool.
Yeah.
But then it's like, what about the kid that doesn't want to do that? I guess you just wouldn't go to school there if you like didn't want to participate in all the fanfare and the school spirit and stuff like that.
I mean, if we had endless money to just blow on like anything, I would totally be down with sending. Nick would thrive in this environment. This
So
would be his school.
I mean, maybe just max out the loans and roll the dice.
We're not doing that. He does want to go to college in North Carolina, so you never know.
Really? Why?
Yeah.
What's the draw there?
He wants to be near Carolina Beach, which is in near Wilmington. So he really wants to.
Why? Because you guys have gone there on family trips or something. Don't you have family there or something?
Yeah, we've gone there twice. We love it.
Okay.
He's obsessed.
I've heard North Carolina is awesome.
It is. It's great. But it's very far from me. And
indeed.
I don't like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to survive that. But we've got some time. He's only a sophomore.
All right.
So I'm still pushing for MSU, for both boys to be at MSU.
Just no Montana love, though, huh?
I mean, fine, he could go to UM, but I want him to get out.
Spread your wings.
Spread your wings a little bit, just 3 hours
Right.
away. I do have a funny story. Last weekend, I FaceTimed Ben, and I didn't realize I had a Grizz beanie on, and I had a Grizz sweatshirt on.
Look at you.
It's all I had.
Okay.
If I had an MSU beanie, I would wear it. So I'm FaceTiming
She's great
him.
for our branding as ESPN Missoula, right?
We are statewide.
We are definitely statewide. We're ESPN MT. I know. Everybody listens to the show. They know I have no dog in the fight. It's just all in good
what
fun.
I'm paying to MSU,
Hey,
I'm rooting for MSU.
It's all good.
So I FaceTime him, and his friends hop on to say hi, and all of his friends were like, "Get that hat off your head!"
That's amazing.
They were so mad, and I was like, "I'm so sorry." I said, "Buy me a beanie, then. I need a winter hat, an MSU." Actually, now that I have the microphone, West Wilson.
Oh yeah.
Got all this stuff from MSU Bookstore.
West Wilson's a Montana State alum who's now somehow famous.
He's on Summer House.
Good friend of ours, but I tease him every time I see him. I'm like, I don't know how you did this, buddy, but you did it. Good job by you.
Because he's adorable. But he opens all of this stuff from MSU Bookstore, tags them, all this MSU National Champion hat swag, and I think to myself, why don't you get some stuff from MSU Bookstore? You are a local celebrity.
I think West has got like 800,000 followers on Instagram now. When we get there, maybe
I've
we
got
will.
250.
Yeah, there you go. We're
So follow Chick Who Doesn't Know Sports on Instagram and MSU Bookstore. Send me some stuff, and I will wear it with pride.
Should we end this on a good note or on a bad note?
I don't know.
Let's just keep it happy.
Okay.
I'll just tell you off air. Okay. Somebody did something bad and it made me mad. You'll scold them next week on that. Chicken Doesn't Know Sports. How about that? All right. I still can't remember. There was one other thing I had for you, but now I can't remember.
Well, now I don't feel bad about not remembering who Aaron Rodgers is.
There's something in the air, right? If we can't even remember Carolyn's favorite foil, then what are we even doing?
I have not slept this week.
Who is the former quarterback for the New England Patriots that you hate?
Tom Brady.
Good job. Just making sure you're really not completely lost.
I know. I do think I might have CT.
What's going on with Belichick and his girlfriend?
I mean, they have not been in the news, which is kind of nice. So
it's probably good.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is the end, because if she's not in the press, she's probably not happy.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, just making sure your cognition is still working.
It's not.
Chicken Doesn't Know Sports Pie presented in part by Hot House Yoga. I'm making my debut next Wednesday. We got it. New 8 a.m. class.
Yes.
So that's good. Carolyn's been trying to get me to go the super early one. It's not that I'm averse to waking up early. It's just that I really like to spend my mornings with my son.
I'll allow it.
Although today, my God, he is obsessed with mopping. I hope this is a thing that continues when he's older.
This is a good thing.
But he decided at 7 o'clock in the morning this morning that it was time to mop the kitchen. So I'm letting him do it, but then, time to go to school, take the mop away. The biggest meltdown he's ever had in his life. Freaking out, pounding on the floor. No! It's so hard not to laugh.
I don't know. I would not react that way if you took the mop away from me. I'd be like, great, I'll put my feet up.
Anyways, Hot House Yoga. I'm making my debut next Wednesday.
Yeah.
My reignition.
Yes.
But have you gone lately? How's it been going?
I went Tuesday morning early, and then I went Sunday. I've been doing yoga sculpt, and Sunday I just went to Core Power just to do yoga, and I forgot how good just yoga is.
No doubt.
Like, because I've just been doing these sculpt classes for a while, so I'm going to hit up another Core Power this weekend because it's just so good. Oh, can I give a plug?
Of course.
So this Saturday night is Dance Till Dusk at the Badlander.
Like your guys' favorite thing.
My ladies' dance party, $5 cover. I have made the most exquisite playlist. It is so much fun. It is just a way to get out, dance with a bunch of gal pals, and have a couple drinks if you want, water if you want, whatever. It is so much fun. So everyone should hit up Dance Till Dusk this Saturday night at the Badlander.
Very good. Go do it. It's good for you. It's fun times, and they've done a great job of getting this all together and making this sort of a at least semi-often event, right?
Yeah, and I invited your mom. I hope she comes.
Wow, that'd be fun.
I know.
She loves dancing.
I know. That's what your brother said.
Yeah.
So I sent all the stuff to your brother so she better be there Saturday. It's done. We're home by 10. I mean, there's nothing better.
My mom can stay up late. I actually don't know how she does it, but she can definitely stay up late.
Okay, well,
but either way, maybe she'll come dance.
I hope so.
All right, Nuanez Now 129 ESPN Radio. Carolyn, she does no sports. Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
We will return with a little rivalry lacrosse. Jeff Safford has got the scoop as the Grizz and the Bobcats take the field for the first time this spring. That's next. Don't change that dial. Keep it right here, 102.9 ESPN Radio.
What do you expect me to say to her? She's getting married in 30 minutes.
We're doing everything we can.
John, can you hear me? John.
At Shields, we're anglers, endlessly seeking and refining techniques. We're hunters and storytellers, because we've been out there. We're experts that put products and gear to the test, so we can share that knowledge with you. At Shields, we understand your outdoor journey and the path you're on, because we walk it too, every step of the way. Shields, right there with you.
Mountain Town Vacation Rental Management, your local partner for vacation rental success. We provide a fully customized hosting experience tailored to your needs and goals. Your home is listed on every major site, helping you maximize visibility and bookings. And our local team is available 24/7 to handle guest needs and booking inquiries. Let us take the stress out of managing your vacation home. Contact us today at mountaintownvrm.com or give us a call at 406-369-3080.
The rare moments in life, they're not just few and far between. They're meant to be treasured.
Bring the whole family to the Stone of Accord for a wonderful brunch. From traditional comfort food to eclectic specials, there's something for everyone to enjoy. And it wouldn't be a proper Missoula brunch without an Irish coffee and a mimosa. The Stone of Accord, Irish fare with Montana flair. Restaurant, liquor store, and casino. At the Stone of Accord, we use the freshest ingredients to create our homemade traditional Irish classics, fresh salads, and creative specials. Come enjoy our warm, family-friendly atmosphere. The Stone of Accord, Irish fare with Montana flair. Restaurant, liquor store, and casino.
ESPN Missoula Sports Center.
The knockout blow came early as Montana State's women's basketball team kept on rolling. Hello, I am Colter Nuanez. Montana State scored the game's first 8 points, built a double-digit lead over Portland in the first quarter, and rode brilliant performances by Addison Harris and Taylor Chirick to a 72-54 win in an electric Worthington Arena on Thursday night. The victory propels the Bobcats into the WNIT Great 8, where they'll play South Dakota in Vermillion on Sunday at noon. Montana State head coach Tricia Binford credited the crowd, saying it was, quote, incredible. The same could be said of Montana State's superb sophomores. Harris scored a game-high 23 points, added 2 rebounds and 2 assists. In spite of being saddled with 2 early fouls, Chirick scored 17 points, grabbed 13 rebounds, dished out 5 assists, and snared 3 steals. Montana State held the Pilots to 21% shooting in the first quarter, while forcing 8 UP turnovers. That helped spark the 27th win of the season for MSU, the second most in school history. The Cats also raised their home record to 15-0, and the crowd of 3,897 was Montana State's third largest of the season. MSU is the last basketball team from the state of Montana that is still playing. The Bobcats lost the bidding process for the Great 8 to South Dakota, so they'll travel to Vermillion on Sunday. The Coyotes are led by Kerry Amy, who was the head coach at Idaho for a single season before taking the USD job. All the action from the WNIT can be found on the ESPN Plus app.
Nuanez Now on ESPN Radio.
Definitely a lot on the line in college lacrosse on the eastern side of the Continental Divide on a Friday evening. It's the Bobcats and Grizzlies getting ready to get it rocking and rolling from Dobby Lambert Turf. Friday night at 7 o'clock open and face-off, recording this on a Thursday, but you're listening to it on Nuanez Now, leading up about an hour and a half away from the start between the Cats and the Grizzlies. With us to preview the matchup between MSU and Montana and Grizzly Lacrosse is an attackman from the Grizzly Lacrosse team. He actually is the leading goal scorer for Montana Grizzly Lacrosse this season. A senior out of Illinois originally, living now in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Reese Barron with us here on Nuanez Now. Reese, thanks for taking some time to jump in studio with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jeff. Great to be here.
So this has been a big season for you. You mentioned it, the leading goal scorer. You and another attackman in Sully Kroger have been going back and forth in terms of points, both over 30 so far on the year. What's been the biggest key to your success so far?
I think just on and off field chemistry. I think since we're always rooming up together on the road, we get along really well, our whole attack group, but also just we communicate really well on the field, and we always make sure we get things down well in practice, so once it comes to game time, we perfect everything as well as we can, and it comes out in the right way.
Now, you mentioned rooming together, this Grizz lacrosse team specifically, and this is really a story about MCLA lacrosse in general, thinking about these long travels. Last spring break, Grizz lacrosse went all the way down to Alabama. This year, Grizz lacrosse drove all the way to Minnesota. You've been to Utah and Denver. How have those trips helped bring this team together?
Yeah, it definitely brings all types of classes together, whether it's freshmen and seniors or the middle classes. We definitely bond, whether it's just having fun, chilling out on the bus, just trying to pass time, or once we're hanging out in the hotel waiting for games or after games, just getting to know each other, messing around, and just making sure we're at the same time locking in for the game, focusing up.
This group specifically, I think, a bit unique because it has a mix of guys that are familiar and not so much. Thinking about your defensive group, 2 seniors starting on that back line, and Alex Heck and Alex Wider, 2 great players who have been all conference picks, but also a freshman mixed in with Jake Ahrens, the 3rd starting defenseman, most typically. And same is true on the offensive side as well. Yourself a returning player, mentioned Sully Kroger's name earlier, another attackman in Bo Sterling, a guy that's been around Grizz lacrosse for a few seasons, but also seeing a lot of new players mix. And how has that been unique, seeing the mix of new and veteran guys?
It makes it more, I guess, entertaining and at the same time challenging in a good way. I think it's entertaining and enjoyable for me as a senior and a captain that I have to learn how to lead guys on the field, give them tips and tricks to execute our plays better, but then at the same time it just shows the differences in our IQs and how we think on the field, and it just makes us mesh differently, but in a good way.
Getting ready for Montana Grizzly lacrosse here on 102.9 ESPN Missoula. Nuanez Now, the Montana Grizzly lacrosse team headed to Bozeman on a Friday evening to face off with the Bobcats. Two very good lacrosse teams. Montana coming into the matchup number 5, nationally ranked. The Bobcats right behind at number 6. If you can't make it over to Bozeman to catch the game, we got you covered on the ESPN MT YouTube page. Also streaming live on grizzlax.com, MCLA TV. A whole multitude of options to catch the action. Myself, Jeff Safford, will be on the call for it. See if Reese Barron can put a few more into the back of the net. You mentioned you are a senior coming into the season and a captain, but it's been definitely a challenge getting to this point, fighting through knee injuries. What has it been like for you to be able to get to this point playing such good lacrosse after battling through so much?
Yeah, it's definitely challenging for sure. I give a lot of props to people who've also gone through knee injuries, especially ACL and meniscus. Beforehand, I always just watching, especially professional athletes come back, it didn't seem like too much of an issue, but going through it twice now and playing on a second repaired knee, it's definitely a struggle, but at the same time, it's of course made me a better player and a better person. I couldn't be more grateful at the same time, just because I know mentally I would not be where I am now without having to go through these trials and tribulations, but it's also made me appreciate the game just for what it is, the creator's game.
And how is that culture really special around Grizzly lacrosse? Just thinking about respecting the game itself. I mean, we see it at the team award banquets, these special awards that honor the lineage of the game of lacrosse that goes back hundreds of years. How is that cool to see within the program?
Yeah, it's cool, especially with our at the end of the year banquet, how we have the Spirit of the Game award, and that usually goes to one of the guys that's always coaching us on, yelling on the sideline or on the field, just really making sure we're all giving our best effort. And I definitely think it's just a good mesh of remembering the roots of this game and where it comes from, and putting it into our own games, remembering we're playing for a bigger purpose. It's definitely a great thing Grizzly Cross does.
Now, we've been talking a fair amount about the offensive side of things. Obviously, you've been able to have a good amount of success at it as the team leader in goals, but can't get through a Grizzly lacrosse interview without mentioning the efforts in net from junior goalie Joey Kortner. I mean, the numbers that Joey Kortner are putting together are just unfathomable. He has a save percentage nearly at 80%. His last game out, 34 saves against North Dakota State. How special is it watching Joey Kortner? And for folks around Montana maybe not familiar, how special of a athlete is he?
It's honestly incredible. I'm very grateful that Joey is our goalie, our starting goalie. He's does more than enough for us, and I only wish him the best. He continues to play great game in and out. I truly think if he grew up somewhere different than Spokane, he could have gone D1. I truly think he's a great goalie. He's that level. But I'm also very happy that he's playing here with us in Grizzly Cross. But yeah, Joey's always great. He's always hard on himself in a good way, which makes him play better on and off the field. But he is also a great leader, telling the defense where to go, when to be there. So he's just a great guy on and off the field.
Talking some college lacrosse with Reese Barron from the University of Montana Grizzly lacrosse team. Grizzlax headed over to Bozeman, Montana for a Friday night rivalry battle with the Montana State Bobcats. 7 o'clock opening face-off on a Friday night. And don't forget about Sunday back in Missoula at Washington Grizzly Stadium. The Montana Grizzlies will be playing host to Southern Utah this Sunday, high noon, over at the stadium. General admission tickets available. So if you don't got anything going on for a Sunday, go check out some Montana Grizzly lacrosse. Again, a very good team coming in with a record this weekend of 9-1, ranked number 5 in the nation in the Men's Collegiate Lacrosse Association. Now, thinking about the matchup, last couple of things for Reese Barron. Coming into this matchup against Montana State, this has been an opponent that has given Montana specifically fits. I mean, this long run of losses to the Montana State Bobcats. How do you focus on the game on Friday night and not look back on results you've had against the Cats?
Yeah, I think truly we just focus on what we've been doing up to this point in this season. We've continued to get better each weekend and each game, and I think we're finally starting to hit our stride. I think we just need to stay focused and be confident in ourselves and trust that if we put in a great game, we will only see great results, and it doesn't matter who the opponent is. Of course, we have our previous record with MSU, but I think this is a great team, and this is going to be our year.
Well, I know you've had a chance earlier this week to check out some film on Chris Kelly's squad, the Bobcats. What have you seen from them on tape in terms of how they play that is worked for them? A lot of success coming in with a record of 7-3. Mentioned also in the top 10 nationally, won a national championship, did this program back in 2024. What have you seen on tape from them, and how do you look to exploit potentially the Bobcats in this matchup?
Yeah, they are a great team. I have to give them that. They, of course, ranked number 6, which is just below us, so there's nothing to say against them. But I do think defensively, as me being an attackman, there's definitely times where I think we can take advantage of them if we play our game right, we get our passes to the right spot. And then defensively for our team, I think we just have to continue doing what we've done, where we stay cohesive as a group, make sure we're talking on the field, and I think just being at the right place at the right time, executing properly, we will take down the Cats for sure.
Well, he's Reese Barron, hopefully putting goals into the back of the net from the Montana Grizzly perspective. Catch Montana in action against Montana State Friday evening, a 7 o'clock opening face-off from the Dobby Lambert Turf there on the campus of Montana State in Bozeman. Then the Grizzlies return to home on Sunday, facing off against Southern Utah, a high noon face-off from the stadium, Washington Grizzlies Stadium, there on the campus at the University of Montana. If you can't catch either of those games in person, we'll have you covered on the ESPN MT YouTube page, Grizzlax.com, the ESPN MT app, with all the action throughout the course of the season for Montana Grizzly lacrosse. We will roll further with this edition of Nuanez Now after this. Reese, thanks for coming down for this interview. This has been a Grizzly Lacrosse segment on 102.9 ESPN Missoula.
Bring the whole family to the Stone of Accord for a wonderful brunch. From traditional comfort food to eclectic specials, there's something for everyone to enjoy. And it wouldn't be a proper Missoula brunch without an Irish coffee and a mimosa. The Stone of Accord, Irish fare with Montana flair. Restaurant, liquor store, and casino. At the Stone of Accord, we use the freshest ingredients to create our homemade traditional Irish classics, fresh salads, and creative specials. Come enjoy our warm, family-friendly atmosphere. The Stone of Accord, Irish fare with Montana flair. Restaurant, liquor store, and casino.
Access to Montana's great backyard is the best part of being a Grizzly. At the University of Montana, our classrooms are the mountain peaks, river valleys, and never-ending plains of the Big Sky country. We provide students with the hands-on training to protect and enjoy hunting, conservation, and stewardship. UM launches the careers of outdoor leaders so that they can protect our traditions and ensure they are passed down for future generations. Because what's made in Montana is remaking the world.
Why would any business let you use their product and give you 365 days of reassurance? Mattress Firm does because they believe in their mattresses. Save on top brands like Nectar, Tempur-Pedic, Beautyrest, Serta, Stearns & Foster, and others. Mattress Firm carries $149 mattresses all the way up to the luxury Purple Rejuvenate Premier. 0% in payments as low as $39 a month, along with 365 days of reassurance. See why Mattress Firm is Montana's best place to find the sleep you deserve.
Mattress Firm, where it's easy a great night's sleep.
Missoula Sports Center.
The knockout blow came early as Montana State's women's basketball team kept on rolling. Hello, I am Colter Nuanez. Montana State scored the game's first 8 points, built a double-digit lead over Portland in the first quarter, and rode brilliant performances by Addison Harris and Taylor Chirick to a 72-54 win in an electric Worthington Arena on Thursday night. The victory propels the Bobcats into the WNIT Great 8, where they'll play South Dakota in Vermillion on Sunday at noon. Montana State head coach Tricia Binford credited the crowd, saying it was, quote, incredible. The same could be said of Montana State's superb sophomores. Harris scored a game-high 23 points, added 2 rebounds and 2 assists. In spite of being saddled with 2 early fouls, Chirick scored 17 points, grabbed 13 rebounds, dished out 5 assists, and snared 3 steals. Montana State held the Pilots to 21% shooting in the first quarter, while forcing 8 UP turnovers. That helped spark the 27th win of the season for MSU, the second most in school history. The Cats also raised their home record to 15-0, and the crowd of 3,897 was Montana State's third largest of the season. MSU is the last basketball team from the state of Montana that is still playing. The Bobcats lost the bidding process for the Great 8 to South Dakota, so they'll travel to Vermillion on Sunday. The Coyotes are led by Kerry Amy, who was the head coach at Idaho for a single season before taking the USD job. All the action from the WNIT can be found on the ESPN Plus app.
It's Nuanez Now on 102.9 ESPN Missoula. Watch the show statewide on SWX Montana Television.
Welcome back to 102.9 ESPN Radio. As Coulter would say, we are up against it. We'll be back at it on Monday at 4 o'clock, and we'll see you all then. You're listening to Nuanez Now on 102.9 ESPN Radio.
The Press Box is the place to watch all your favorite sports. In the heart of Grizz Country, Press Box